We start the conversation proper. One welcome with studio guests. We get San Nepo from the Electricity Distribution and Supply Authority. EDSA, good morning, Nepo, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Lamrana and Sonia, and good morning to listeners, viewers out there.
William Saul Amin from Civil Society on Service Delivery. Saul Amin, welcome to the show.
Good morning, and thank you for getting me at the studio.
Nepo, I'll start with you immediately. There is an information we go out yesterday and we get now. You know, people in Senate in AYV are where you clarify quickly. Even they go around and say, breaking news, as government fails to pay Karpowership, Freetown to experience massive blackouts. Reliable sources have confirmed that the Turkish Karpowership in Freetown has shut down since Friday because of government failure to pay millions of dollars to the Karpowership as debt. Already, certain parts of the capital is experiencing frequent power outages. Stay tuned for more details. This was even shared in some of the media platforms, and people and they ask for clarification. You want to clarify this, whether it's fake news or whether it's something that is happening?
Yes, I'm going for clarifying because I remember vividly say you even sent them to me yesterday.
Yes.
Not that Karpowership don't shut down because of the reasons we then highlight by the notice we then send out. We don't always tell people and say we get several sources of generation. Of course, Karpowership now one, we get the CLSG, we get Bumbuna, and we get other thermal plants now in Tom and Black Road. So, and we all know say we are in the rains, and most times when we're in the rains, we get the highest peak of generation from we plant when Bumbuna hydropower plants, and we also get supplies from CLSG. So what you can do is that we average megawatts at peak level. So if we able for attend with we own state-owned Bumbuna hydropower plants, and we also get CLSG we own tariff much more cheaper than Karpower. What we'll do, we'll ask Karpower to reduce on the generation capacity, then we continue for use Bumbuna and CLSG for complement the gap from Karpower. So it's not that Karpower shut down. The thing is, we don't want any wastage. We know what we require for ensure we supply lights in the city, and we, at this point in time, Bumbuna coupled with CLSG can able give that output there. Yes, of course, not to say Karpowership shut down, as and when necessary, we ask them for complement the load. That is when required. But that is the model of apparently all the goods
and
right
government's not own Karpowership?
No, well, I cannot determine that. All I know is that we don't own up to responsibility for pay Karpowership. As an institution, EDSA, I'm here to represent EDSA.
Yeah.
And even recently, we make a disbursement of payment to Karpowership as per the agreement.
Okay.
So with the meet up to the agreement.
Okay, thanks for that clarification. They're very important because you don't get that message from yesterday and people in the Senate to it. But let me look at the issue of electricity supply presently na the city. I don't know, before come on here, you say me gets blackout overnight. I don't know if Sonia
including mine as well.
There's this issue of power outage, and you mentioned at this time when a rainy season we get some peak period from Bumbuna and we get CLSG. What's in the situation presently?
Yes, well, I don't know. Of course, I'm Sonia for the by I'm Godrich also.
Correct.
I live around Godrich as well. Lights be there yesterday, I don't know. But again, like I don't always say, we get with operators all over the country, from the east, central districts, till right down to the west. What can happen, especially now, we all know see more when we into the rains. It is inevitable for say we experience fault along the lines. Reason being is that, of course, they experience heavy breeze, they get for blow the wires, they get for some poles that can for them, we experience cut wires. So we can always say these things are inevitable. What you would expect from the public is, as and when they happen within communities, but then reach out to EDSA and complain to we.
Okay.
Yes, of course, we get some areas, and even around Malama area, we get Elville, every panel problem, even around, we get areas and we get problems. We don't communicate to the public. But we want for many people to know, say, we know reach now the stage it, no country don't experience fault along the line. No country know they. And also no country don't experience outage. We don't there even Kenya. Recently we see them go over 3 weeks without power because they get issues with the lines. It does happen. But as I say, what is important is, as a responsible institution, how responsive are we to attend to them fault them with the customer they lost to it. But again, we are not magicians, I can always say. We get with free toll at 672. Even myself, we get a Facebook page. Always people can attest to the facts. I get my staff them, they live on Facebook page. As and when the reports they come in, we catalog them and ensure say they are attended to. So we want to make the public know say we are readily available. We get standby teams at the east, we get standby teams at the west, we get standby teams at the central business district. So when they further call, as they come in, we ensure say we release them to the appropriate parties for let them go and resolve them. But again, the ones that we don't know, we expect the public also to reach out to me as EDSA and make sure say we know and we will attend to them.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the increment on the tariff when there is serious concern, all over the country. So firstly, before we go into this, I want to know what inspired this reason here for the increment?
Yes, thank you very much for that. This is not something we debate today all over salon right now. Yes, of course, we as EDSA, we don't make an application to the Electricity and Water Regulatory Commission as per law. Now then get the right for review, adjust, or increase tariff. So we don't make the application to them. And the reason why we make the application, I will state that 3 principal drivers responsible for that. One, now the depreciation of the leones against the US dollars. 2, now inflation. 3, now increase in tariff from the invoices we get from the IPPs. I will begin with depreciation of the leones as against the dollar. Last, we also review tariff last year. It was around July 2022. The reason why we increased that tariff now because we will get challenge in the operations. So at that time, EWRC reviewed the tariff. It was at 11.5 US cents. So from July to date, currently August, if you check, the rate now is at 23.5. So you will see the differentials from last year 2022 to this year 2023 is over 100%. If you check. So once that don't happen, these are some of the reasons we make that happen. They are macro reasons. We as an institution, EDSA, we don't really get control over. For instance, I'll tell you what another variable we get for do it, the increase in invoices from IPPs. Now, why is that so? It is so because of the high cost in fuel and lubricants. Now, the IPPs, them, because of the high cost, they don't increase on the generation cost. If IPP they spend probably $1 million for generate 5 megawatt, now they will spend more than $2 million for generate that 5 megawatt, and then they get a direct impact on the invoices that they will send to me. Why is it so? Because at the time of the agreement, we'll be going to the agreement, it was agreed that we pay the IPPs and invoice based on current exchange rates. And just mind you, we as EDSA, we collect in leones. And at the end of the day, we pay the IPPs in dollars. So we don't get serious challenge from the time we review the tariff to now because of the differentials in the exchange rate. They don't really affect the market price, they don't affect everything.
So also, every time the dollar, the exchange rates go up,
they affect we as an EDSA because
it affects consumers as
well. We're not every time because from when we review, do it in July 2022 to date, we not review tariff. But even as we review the tariff and when we reach 2 months, then we get a high increase or increase in the exchange rate. But will not be reviewed immediately. Will be the struggle all this while for ensure say we meet to the requirement of supplying power to the people. So, but also we therefore look at the inflation. Last year, 2022, the inflation was at 27%. That's how we will do the review in the tariff. This year, August, if you check, the inflation is at 45%. So if you look at the differentials from if you take from last year to now, you put them together, we are at 65% inflation. What they tell you, see, everything don't go up. Even we as EDSA, last year, if you go for buy transformer at close to 1 million units, for instance. Right now, if you go for buy the same transformer we buy last year at 1 million units, it buy now 1,650,000 because of the inflation issues. So we get to meet up to the responsibility to ensure we supply light. I just say, you see, faults in the network, they are inevitable, they do occur. But for them occur, what do we get for do? We also need to get materials in stock for sure. See, when cable cut, we will go replace that cable. When pull for them, we will go replace that pole. When transformer bluff, we will go replace that transformer. When every panel burn, we will go replace that every panel. If we don't get that capacity, then we go just accumulate the fault, and we go just increase on the blackout day in, day out. And we think to say, as a responsible institution, we don't foresee them and we take that level because we believe, see, the customer then prefer electricity than blackout. So what we have done is we don't look at all of these variables and we don't see them as management, as board, and as a sector. We don't say and say, no, we are challenged as a sector. And if we continue to go so, then we're not going for meet to the needs and wishes of the people. And we believe, say, without electricity in any country, no side will go. Even education, even fit salon, everything is powered by electricity. So we say, well, what we'll do is, it is really important that we make an application to EWRC. Because if we don't make an application for an increase in tariff or for an adjustment in tariff, then it's a problem. We just say it's an adjustment, not an increase. Why is it so? Because we are just looking at the current exchange rate. The last year we increased tariff, it was at 11.5. This year now it is at 23.5. So we just decided to close the gap from last year to this year so that at least when we get the money.
And then they talk about the need or the reason why una think say there should be una request for an increase because of una expenditure as well, inflation and the exchange rates. And the regulation commission therefore look at this and agree on waiting and the increase, but definitely there's going to be an increase, right?
There's going to be an adjustment.
Yeah, but an adjustment is an increase.
Exactly.
If I'm paying 50 leons, then they add 2 leons per tap. It's an increase.
Increment, yeah.
Right?
I don't think they're using what's in our
Yeah, I understand that. I just want the confirmation. Either way,
there's going to be.
It is confirmed that there's going to be an adjustment.
What's the difference between an adjustment and...
But it depends on how you interpret it, but for me it's an adjustment.
It's an adjustment of
for that increase.
Of almost how they pay for light, right?
Yeah, of course.
Almost the public they pay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. William Chawlami, let me bring you into the conversation. You know, you get from Sanepo, and he said there's going to be an adjustment. So whether if you're paying 10 leons and you are to pay 15 leons, it's an adjustment. From the civil society perspective on service delivery, waiting now on a position on this.
Yeah, thank you very much. Wami Kozinki always say, God gets patient. Indeed, God gets patient. Because on talk, there is some government officials in the talk. If government will get patient, and you take hammer, you whap it straight away, you scatter. God really get patient. But waiting some of you to do, don't pray for some of the government officials for long. But now we begin for swear there with Governor Clarkson in prayer. We swear there.
But the man just give reason as to why.
What to say the reason?
Yeah, but there is inflation. There
they lie. But most of these things, they communicate to people and correctly let people understand.
So what you know?
If there is an increase because there is dollar, there is tell people say we increase.
That's what I'm talking.
You can begin tell people say adjustment. What did that make understand about adjustment? Tell us say we increase the price, we increase the cost per tariff. And even the tariff up to this time, you don't know, I'm able to understand it. Hell, never explain that this CDO passed 10 to me. I don't go to the office that they explain. I don't even understand, that's it. Because today go buy like 100,000, you get 100 units. Tomorrow you buy a 50 units, you get the other. It just mixed up that you don't even understand nothing. And it's sorry for President Bill. And really sorry for him. Because at the end of the day, all these things they come back to them. Like say Naim. People are professional people. They are engineers, they are this, they are that. You put them in offices. They are not doing much. The thief, where after they left Sidon, then they thief the electricity, the light. Most of the workers, where they do illegal connections, where they do deal with factories, with the big institution, if they try to amend that one, they force. Then they left for the levy more tax on the layman, for the spend more money, will bring more hardship. The President will get the pressure. Internal problems, procurement. We don't see inside this water now 5,000 euros. People they go buy 10,000 euros. Willfully. They really know see the water now 5,000 in this country. We don't see it. You understand? So these are all internal problems where people have to try to settle first before they go out for external. We still don't get quality light. I tell God thank you. I said this today where they don't get blackout. They call a backseat trip. The other way to talk about the increase per tariff, they call it adjustment. So it will confuse people. Now when you don't get blackout just now, it's about trip.
So una believe say the reasons we EDSA they give for as justification for request for an adjustment as they say or an increase not justifiable.
Here, if EDSA a mistake this week or next week, whether an adjustment to an increment to go, will it stop? Will they go meet at the office for them to come inside the office? One in all time with us. When you look at the economic situation now, the fear no more don't go off first. We they can talk to people allow they be allowed to manage small. That tension they in the force. The political tension after the election, it in the about 8 force. We they can go slow. People they send message every day say, hey, we not go school. Then they can't attack. PM the no war, you know, for sending the king go school. That one crisis force, one trauma force when people are the host there. You understand? Fear don't go off first. So that the Bible tell liter for Canton. 250 recently, now 300,000 they pay. In fact, today nobody think about motoka back. All these other days, but it's still not the match up. You take a care, you take a car. The price still increase. In fact, people don't show their own price when they fit for sure. So the problem in the country it increase day by day. EDSA and we want to talk about today. Of course, they try with us na problem first because the Leone country will not vex first, even though for jubilate. But they say they can plan for increase. So let's wait for them. What do they tell EDSA? Let no mistake. Right now, let no mistake for increase. When they talk to Electricity and Water Regulatory Commission, say, do ya, who started this so? Now people that vote for President Bill, now President Bill appoint them for Dede. So when they did the people that are interested, I for see first. Then when they regulate this price, make them go first like EDSA, make them go check first, waiting at the internal problems, internal wastage, where they first, make them try to cut down on the wastage. We see one today minister they run behind big factories and other places where they do illegal connections. You understand? There was a guy in this country like Sierra Leone, called Malado. Malado became a system for work with EDSA. Where factory A is supposed to pay 50 million euros to EDSA at the end of the month. It register to Malado in computer, it register at the bank, it register at EDSA. When you pay the money today in the bank. The system they go to Malado, the system they go to the bank, the system they go to EDSA immediately. Their system there are people that don't mix up and box up and say they stop that contract and that young man in hand. Now we come back to the old system, the dark days. We sign somebody for pay 50 million euros for months as a big factory, and still they pay 20 million. You understand? We sign the 30 million they go. Let EDSA, AGTC, and the Regulatory Commission make them go back and look at the internal system and then correct them. Some staff they when they go connect cable direct, that's on factory. People they get like they burn the lights, and these are rich people, these are big companies where they pay for lights, but then they pay the correct money they for pay. The layman, would they pay huge amount of money. The layman still they suffer. Some of them are about 2 weeks. They don't get lights.
People know the thief lights as well in communities.
Then the thief light in community now because they not put proper systems there in place it. When you put correct system, why if lights go now right now there is fire incident around the area right now. Immediately it register EDSA. EDSA they know say fire the na so point. Let them put system in place whereby if AYV connect cable where you're not supposed to connect that cable, if you register something for sure, so size some thief they happen in that area. Make them put their system there in place. Make them try for correct their system there. But telling people every day, one, the light not sustainable yet. We still know they get quality light. You go to some areas, the light in red like I don't know, like fire. That even for charge phone, really for charge phone. You go some other area, they will tell you say we don't get light. Of course, the other which man they will get when they go damage the transformer, they're in a different issue. Number 2, they don't get light. People that go last year now Tombo take the pole or the light fire and then burn out. Sierra Leoneans, when their brother and sister they for benefit from this light. So
EDSA need money for.
That is what I'm saying. You mean as civil society, so bread and butter civil society. Why they talk and whose side problems they highlight them. At the top of EDSA and problem, and they talk about who problem. Because even you as Sierra Leonean going to EDSA saying I can't do illegal connection for me. You say don't do something wrong. If you can't for corruption, you say corrupt. But what do they say? EDSA when they get for suffer. When I never they get for casting on this television for example, they say they are adjusting And when they talk, that mami sido and they watch EDSA, they watch Nepo, they say they adjust. They say this boy they lie. You understand? Anytime Nepo the car in an embarrassed way the car, you know they feel fine because it not say if you walk in this line now, for that Nepo for it's a food set a problem because they go for charger and tell no for charger. So what do they say here? Make them try to settle the internal problems therefore, the internal leakages. Make them adjust them all first before everybody they come out. Because this not to America, the United. You have to tell me say already Nepo explain so 20 years ago they not be explain the same problem. No, not be honest. There is nothing when Nepo explain that when you tell me say they don't want to explain on this television. You know, you can't tell.
But you agree with Nepo,
but
you self agree with Nepo say there is inflation. There's been economic
fear long
up, the exchange rates, the dollar, where they sign contracts with the power providers, them get issues and all of that. The dollar exchange rates.
Yeah, we know all that one day. Now I make something that they inflate today, they increase price. Why? Because you get things the way you self get for when you decide to make money, when you don't need for immediately increase price. Now, the pressure already on the people of Sierra Leone, the government get for cushion. One of the cushion, why PRA price they increase, other institutions that for to do something for cushion, because as fuel price go up, it affect every sector. So why it affect people outside the EDSA for the cushion? You understand? Cushion in the sense that for try to organize themselves, so they're not go quickly increase price. We will affect people more because that might mean now they get to the drives, go they sell the small water. They get small plazas money. So why this side they put pressure on the people, the other side the cushion. Agriculture for the fact now for the use of farming, so that by the time they get to the drives, enough food in the market. And I way down the way the cushion, different way they need the cushion. But now they talk about fuel increase. Now they talk about a lot of other problems. The way they EDSA, they say now we for increase now. Now they get surplus light. I think AYV. Because you know when they get surplus light, people still get blackout. When I don't sell a Karpowership with, because when I don't get surplus light now in other areas, let it wait. But people still don't get light. So the whole thing is confusing. So when they say the light not enough, EDSA they say they have enough light, so that they even test on side and then they stop. And we are ready to pay for this electricity. So my friend, there is no way you can compare government in lights to running of generator. You need to compare it. It's always very expensive for using your personal generator I use. So however the tariff go for better pass the generator you go use that you use. So now if they get enough light, then they give this enough light, we are paying, not only they pay for we. So for the time we say, oh, if Karpowership, because there was a time ago they say Karpowership, they don't say that they increase, they this, they that. So now make the one for increase the cost. You understand? If Karpowership increase that price, now me get for pay, not to EDSA they pay for me. So why would I go say no, when I wait first, give the rent? Then by the time I see they come back, we don't begin get problem back with Bumuna. Bumuna government not put money. The day where we get for ask government, previous government, then they go with the figure. Where Salon government not put on Bumuna to go fire the kitchen at this country. The figure. Where previous government do not put on Bumuna, if they show the figure fire the kitchen. We don't put money on Bumuna, tell over 40 years. 30 days, this Bumuna not going to forgive you like the first month inside crisis, Bumuna going to forgive you light. By the time they don't do the season, crisis don't begin again. They will begin telling about maintenance, they will begin telling about this. Every day, there is nothing new. 20 years ago, they don't tell about electricity in this country. When Nepo still not the tell me. No difference, not it. Okay. When we get a different narrative, when we get a different story, you talk about Kenya. Are you comparing Sierra Leone to Kenya? Kenya, or is it 3 weeks and get blackout? You don't compare Sierra Leone to Kenya. For the right business, no, they're not in yourself. They continue, they go there, na net, you do net, they tell like na Santa, they don't reach the light. I want to know so how long travel and then place the Nepo. So now they talk the correct thing to people. If there is increase, don't tell us say there is increase. If person don't get blackout, talk say they get blackout. No talk say it's tricky this. The more they pay for light, all the thing one see light. They pay for light, is see light. They don't want know nothing but what they do.
One more bring Nepo, and of course you don't hear what Mr. William gets for say. Especially in totally they are against the increment and all these things.
No, they let it increase it. No, we let it agree. They got to wait first.
Being the fact of with the economic situation right now, there's so much going on in the country and all these things. So it seems like it's an added responsibility on Sierra Leoneans them. And for the fact that all this, even with all the increments already happening at the country, still the wage of people them still not they even go up. So what do you get for what justify try for tell me more?
Firstly, I will begin for saying. When Mr. Saul Lamebe they making submission, he even justify the reason why EDSA for make an application to EWRC, it state them very clearly for say the fuel price don't go up. And one thing we're talking about is you get fuel price and lubricants, they get a direct impact on generation. Because the car is up, you say even waiting also you get generator, now fuel you buy you put inside it. So even we yourself now thermal plants them we get. So now thermal plants there, not to water they run them. Now either fuel or you use HFO. So he sits here, I expect him for be reasonable in thinking when making submission. Because I'm coming. But you talk, I don't interject. Let's be responsible here, Mr. Salami. So it make in submission. To me, it justify why it's for make the increase in tariff. Of course, any right thinking Sierra Leone go talk say there is a justification for that. The reason being is that we all don't see from last year 2022 as I make the submission just now when the US dollar was at 11.5. It's not about saying we come here, we sit here, we lie to the people. I mean, now insult no more some people come for insult others. But again, they know the realities on the ground. If I can't see on a talk, say the dollar last year was at 11.5 and now it's at 23. But am I lying? Everybody say I'm go to the street and ask. Check last year, how much you do. If you get $100 last year, you go change that. You know how much you get. You go change that now, you go know how much you go get. So it's a reality. It's out there. So I don't know how Solomon the thing say. You want to let EDSA operate. Yes, we know say it talk about say they are fighting about the fuel and because they gotta fight about the fuel, EDSA for cushion. How you want to let EDSA cushion? EDSA self, its fuel gets a direct impact on EDSA's operation. Because we at EDSA, we own responsibility now for supply and distribute. We get the IPPs, we get the generators. Well, then they generate the power and send them to EDSA. And not for free they do. They also get their own operational expenses. They get they get the OPEX, they get the CAPEX. So he also talk about the issue of internal wastages. I mean, I don't understand. He doesn't work at EDSA, but most of the times in the Sidona, he just make flimsy submissions. At the camp, I don't come to T-flight it. Of course, some of the people with T-flight are within your cadres. We don't want for Goyanda. I want to make you know, say, most of you know the LZ, now the T-flight. I have to be very sincere with that. Go to CID, check the records. Some of them we don't hold them. Some of them they don't go through court process. They don't indict them. They don't pay charges. Some of them are undergoing. Them poor people they talk about, the poor people, they don't steal electricity. Landana. We will see now they make arguments. We argue things. We think we're knowledgeable. We get sense. We don't want to pay for services. That is the problem. And that is you get some of we work things over Lambu. We want electricity. We get AC now also, we get freezers, we get heavy appliances we use. We don't have to pay for the electricity because we don't say we use high electricity. What do they do? They go call now the same people that they go, they find electricians within communities then call them for them to go bypass the meters. I would say we don't over 50% of some of the earliest people they use electricity. Then they T-flight. You don't see evidences on TV. You don't see evidences what they do. Go to the courts. In fact, now we don't even establish a fresh relationship with the court for the issue there because now ongoing issue, now everyday issue.
Complain the license and the judiciary, they embargo some of the case they want to get delayed.
No, that was before, but now we don't engage this Chief Justice, His Lordship. We don't engage him. We don't get to communicate on going forward. So I want to tell you, see, yes, of course, the issue of illegal abstraction of electricity, it's endemic in the society, and it's endemic within the elite. People. Right now, it go interesting for no say people where they earn living, where they get money, now they thief electricity. So we are going after them. It's an ongoing process. You can go down one area today, you come out there, you go down another area. By the time they done the other survey, you don't carry back, they don't connect them back. No. So this is the challenge EDSA is facing. But for me, I believe say as responsible Sierra Leoneans, we foresee the reason and change your attitude in terms of us not stealing electricity.
But you know, things say that they can result to the situation as well. You know, some people can go end up for buy 200,000. Then go even give 50-something or 60-something unit and all these things. You know, even made up 50% to the amount where you pay for the electricity.
But Sonia, is that
things then they can tell people and say, but we don't go pay boku money. When they even see the amount we'll buy.
But Sonia, is that justiciable for legislative electricity. No, it isn't.
Not, but those are things
It isn't. So no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's tell you. I don't know why you difficult to understand issues. Yeah. That's why there are times I find it difficult to argue out with you. You know why? Because you don't tell you. For instance, Sonia, if you don't have a domestic customer, where you go buy top up, the first time probably this is the first of. Let's say in the 1st of August, you go buy top up. You pay for your upon first purchase. You get to pay you service charge. For the GST is upon every purchase. If you buy electricity 5 times in a month, you're going to pay GST. Now goods and services, whatever I say, it's embedded in that tariff stuff, and that one goes to NIA, not to EDSA. Now also, if you don't buy the 1st of August. Then you go buy back, let's say the 11th of August. The total we don't put up, it is sum up. And once it's sum up, it will give you a total will make you graduate into the next level of domestic customers. We get levels. You get poor, you get the levels, and they depend to how you purchase in power. So what do they say? Of course, when EWRC make the public disclosure and write officially to EDSA for say, yes, you made this application, this is what the commissioners and the agree on, then we will therefore also come on TV with the technical experts to explain to people what was approved and how the consumer therefore expects in their purchase power. So,
and Sao safe talk
so
about...
Sao, yes, I want to talk. Sao talk about connivance between EDSA. I want to answer all in the stuff that all the things that work out. Yes, I want to make Sao say, you talk about Malado. Malado bring a system. Yes, Malado was on contract. A Kamote system, PEC meter, they call them PEC meter. That meter, not to be for us and for high-end users, specific people, the way they be categorized and say, Malado, you deal with them. Of course, it's a contract. A contract gets a start date, it gets an end date. So if your contract don't get an end date, you know clearly say, this was your contract. I mean, you are raising hell out of it. Malado didn't raise any hell out of it because he knew that this was the contract. And if you don't sign to a contract, you have to go by the dictates of the contract. So we're not going to argue on anything. When he spoke, he talked about, at the time, say, for EDSA, we don't employ what you call systems and processes. There was a time, a few months ago, I came also to AYV. I talked about the system we don't move from Conlock system, we don't go to another system. And at the time, say,
the metering system.
Yes, we don't go to the AMI system, of course. So now, if you go now, then high-end users, then you go to supermarkets, you go to industries, you see AMI metering system and it gets communication models. For instance, if we don't see St. Mary's, they consume probably 20 million on a weekly basis. The AMI system, it did a record St. Mary's, the cost, everything that they consume in electricity, they record out together with the amount. And from where the commercial director and even the director general sits, than the laptop, it communicates to the laptop. Now systems, it tells you these are the routine St. Mary's of consume, and these are the monetary tabs in the electricity they don't consume. So if you interfere with tab, it's sealed. It has security models. So anybody interfere with tab, you don't know. The thing is, when you don't know about how an institution operates, the best thing you should do now for going to the institution and ask.
The man said you don't go to plenty tell me.
If you go to CID, I don't say the native flight. I don't talk about that. I understand very well what I talk about T flights. What are the T flights and how evidences are there to substantiate that was the people in T flights. So when you talk about connivance with EDSA staff, the problem we have been faced with as an authority. We got people who don't go to institutions, SLOIC and other training accredited institutions. They go to they learn, they study things of electricity. They know how to connect places. In fact, people do the wire, to enter the council, and then kind of people they call for go to the wire. So we don't get to control over that. They are experts also in what they do. So what can happen most of the times, these are the kind of people where some of the people they call out there, they say come and connect for we. They go to connect for we, they get a small team, they pay. So, and let's tell you, if you go to CIE, we got several of them cases. Recently, I'm even go hold the people. I had a customer called me, he said, I got a neighbor where I don't suspect it, you know, they pay for electricity. And you get a lot of appliances who they use. We went there, we investigate, we find the person wanting, we rank them, and then a CID, they undergo investigations, and then go for charge and go court. So these are we expect. If Salami sits here and say people are stealing electricity, yes, we are aware as people that they steal electricity, but him being a civil society advocate, and also if in a protecting Sierra Leonean, he also got a responsibility for prosecute anybody who is still the thief light, but he has never done that. So these are the kind of challenges we have. And you know what I say? If in a ascertain now, say you don't people the thief light, that means it must be don't see somebody with thief light. What I would think, what I would think,
you don't know what the thief light.
What I would think, for us at EDSA, if you go to CID, any staff. Any staff who involved will get code of conduct. Of course, if you go connive for electricity, then an immediate dismissal. No more, no less. We get code of conduct. If you want next to the car, I'll show you. If you want to go and give one, maybe go story up, you know. So we get, if you check from last year to now, we don't dismiss more than 12 members of staff. Not because of the still electricity, but just things we do not correct will get an impact on the institution. So we are a responsible institution. We know how to administrate. So not like say we don't know what for do, Mr. Salami. You talk about connivance. If you go, most of the people that will not connive with the society for divert the connection they will get. Now people that we not to EDSA they work. The one who do EDSA, they know say if EDSA catch you, you will connive. You know say if you don't work for 20 years, I mean, not only that will they dismiss you, but also you will undergo criminal investigation because that's a state crime. So we don't establish all of them protocols, all of them standards, and we are by them thing and they would operate. So we want for let people to know, say, yes, of course. We think say with all of them variables and what I don't highlight, we really these are macro variables and they beyond EDSA's control because we not get control over
there
them.
is a need for
adjustment. And also, why we make a need? Allow me to talk.
Every net at the corner.
You will make you submission. You will be responsible, Mr. So now, what I like to talk is that we get with standards on which we operate. And with the expect of the public, and why we do this application to EWRC, it's all about one, sustaining electricity as it is, and it's all about also improving on accessibility, and also ensure for say we continue with expansion process. I mean, you go agree with me say you get plenty AI that will be there, or not they get access to electricity. Now they get access to electricity, not to magic. Now money the goodie, not to magic. Then can somebody then cable them pole. Now money the goodie. We got area them with the experience of we got area with the experience falling poles, cut wires. We don't manufacture those things here. They are manufactured out of Sierra Leone. So what we do this. We don't tell them they can reach. Would they do go through procurement activities and get access to them things and stop them so that as and when they follow the call, we attend to them. This is all about improving service delivery. I mean, if we don't get the capacity, Mr. Sal, I mean, how do you expect us to improve on service delivery? These things are not manufactured here. We don't do that.
This size of this city, we're not going to talk about this kind of thing we talk about here.
So I tell you,
blackout, this, that, but problem, Me, I swear to me, I either pay or resign.
Gentlemen,
you are embarrassing yourself. Seriously. These problems are 30 years old problem. Every day, year in, year out, is just the same.
Chief Saul, I mean, to come back to it quickly, Nepo, I want to ask this adjustment and you know, the tariff, if the regulatory body agree for an adjustment, is it that you know, the people and the public for expect, you know, a better service and with waiting on the generates, or it's just about maintaining on a cost because it don't go?
So thank you very much, Lamrana. Of course, you will agree with me also that over time we don't increase on the services, we don't increase on accessibility, we don't increase on outages, we don't increase on maintenance, we don't do a lot of expansion to other areas. We will not be to serve communities.
But some of these are projects as well, they get funding from partners.
Lamana, with the adjustments in the tariff, and they give you the capability for continue one for meet with obligations to the IPPs that are independent power producers, so that we go for the honor the invoices that they send. It's not going to find we see them as a country. For instance, we get a bilateral relationship with Ivory Coast, what they give you like now. Then do clean it tomorrow with the cut Sierra Leone off. Not only Sierra Leone connected, though, like where are they? They say the cut Sierra Leone off because they know for meeting obligation. So we embarrass to the country. So we think to say one for able as an institution for able for honor then invoices from Karpower, from CLSG, and even from Bumbuna.
Okay.
That's one. Two, we want for they in a better position for able for buy more network distribution materials, so that as and when fraud will occur, we will get the ability for respond to customers in need, and also will maintain supply. And if outage happen in a community, we also cushion the outage time, so that at least if we will cushion the time, so that if it happen now, you got to be within an hour or two, we're able for resolver. Okay. That's another thing. Also, we want for also be able for maintain we operations and maintenance activities, because I talked about inflation just now. We last time we had 27%. This year I don't go 45%, and if we do the average, we do 65% inflation. So that is to say all the materials that I would use, since we know we import them and we buy them in dollars, we buy them now like twice how we buy them last year. So it's an added responsibility on we as an authority. But the comfortable one for the customers and viewers out there is that we want for assure them for say we are a responsible institution. Whatever we do, we take our customers very important. Then are the kings and queens, because it is because they want the services and they could exist as an authority. So one for assure them for say yes, of course, we don't make the application to EWRC. Whatever becomes the outcome of that application, we also communicate to the public, but most importantly, one for continue for assure them of efficient and effective service delivery from the institution.
With an adjustment, if it comes.
When the adjustment comes, it will give you the stability for continue for work and increase on what on the foundation already laid, and ensure that people can get more access and respond to more needs from the customers.
Provide fuel for me, they provide vehicle. I will snap pole inside the city. We don't link, we don't rot under. We link. I will package that picture you don't want.
So your point is the institution.
This one is in street here, near AIB here. Nearly over 1 month. And you call day net and the bond me credit. Me on credit. For call for catching up. In link, you want drop.
So your point is the institution ineffective.
Today they increase that tariff. Today, but who here they get blackout. So why would they increase tariff? Today they announced that they increase fare. There is fear. Even when it go expensive, but it available. The problem here with water and electricity is that even if World Bank bring project car, like I don't get a World Bank project, they don't get a Bakutin, not just the same bus pipe around, not just the same. So many problems. You understand?
Lamana. It doesn't make some submission. Let me make one point, Lamana. It don't collaborate with EDSA for even go out there and engage communities with regards to vandalism of network infrastructures.
No, it's not
because the man sitting here knows the problem.
Yes.
And you know the roots say most of the issues them where they create some blackout in some communities now because of human interference, not EDSA.
Most of them.
At the camp, most of the of course, not to EDSA they go cut cable.
So most of the problem for the blackout
for areas, these are isolated issues. We get light say, but Lamana, for instance,
light day.
Well, you know, say like they don't argue on Nandi. Not be true to the conscience.
Lamana, for instance,
you don't see plenty time where they go vandalize transformers. They go cut cable. Of course, electricity now the power and transport to the transport arm from one point to another, and the driving factors for that are cables, poles, transformers. Now then it pass through, it transmits, it can reach at the customer premise. So for instance, if you experience cut wire that is going to create a distortion in the flow of electricity from one point to another. So the other area, they inside the thing court, they don't get access to electricity. That's just common sense. Now, in normal, if they go cut transformer, when they have like Juba community, that transformer, they only accommodate the power and then release them to the rest of the community. And then go cut that cable. Of course, that area they get for go without
okay, well, they can take some messages.
Because there are a lot of
and
that.
all of them say they have functionality. Not to the community, not to the community, the outside go back out.
Now the people are
No,
responsible.
not to bulk of the part. I say the vandalism. Not misquote me, Mr. Lamine.
Problem, most of the problems
not
are we responsible.
When, of course, you see vandalism. Now within communities, Lamana, they don't cut cable. Now within communities, they go to. Not outside they cut cable. They don't. You see so. In fact, I tell you, recently I want to commend Wilkins Road. What did they do? They see two bobble on it by 8:30. The mammy then I host. Oh, mommy, then I host. See the two bobble there. They go now the transformer. They cut the first cable. Now I see them. Now it call. It alerts some other community people and say, I don't see people that move for me host. They cut cable. Now they call me. Now me they call right. I left me host. I take vehicle. I take CID them, policeman them. We go to the place. We go meet over 50 community people. They don't hold it. Two bobble there. They hold them. They hand them over to me. They didn't see they didn't undergo investigation. So these are some of the things we expect from the public. Not to staff them, not just people them, and they also they live within that community there. Okay. Now they go, and when they cut cable, light all over.
We got so many messages.
We got so many messages.
So, yeah.
Let me hear waiting the people. The first one I take now from Aniwu Babatunde Davis. He said the most ineffective institution in the country is EDSA. I think they are not delivering. The government should terminate them and give it to private company to effectively operate it. It is very sad.
And this from Sadu Jalo, he say EDSA should have a data of every household electricity usage so they can track your consumption. If there is a significant difference, it means something is not right, and you can check on the property to resolve the issue.
More say excuses, lies, and the government not doing anything else. They are not giving us electricity.
Then Joseph Josiah say, okay, Mr. Nepo, how much funds really needed to solve this electricity problem once and for all? Any survey or estimate done?
Abdul Steven say, good morning. AYV EDSA is asking for an increase, but the standard of light in our community is poor. Even during the day, we can't have a full voltage. But every month we're paying, but their services in our community is not effective. Upper Omole Bush, New England. When we asked them, they said it's not within their reach because the place is not accessible by vehicles, but we are paying every month. Let them improve on their services before asking for an increase.
Well, okay, so this now okay, you be talking about Babatunde Davis, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
One day from Mohamed Jallo, he say, which ministry or commercial building in Leone that is not stealing electricity? All of them. Radisson Blue, Ministry of Defense. Check all the ministry houses, including State House.
So, and then the other person say, Abdul Stevens say, good morning, AYV. Say, EDSA is asking for an increment, but the standard of light in our communities is poor. Even during the day, we can't even have a full voltage. But every month we are paying, but their services in our community is not effective. Upper or Mole, okay, not the same person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mustafa Ibrahim Kamara say, every time I see frequent power outages or 10 light, it makes me wonder whether EDSA has qualified engineers. We have been in this for too long now.
This person say every time I see frequent power outrage on, and the lights on and off, it makes me wonder whether EDSA has qualified engineers. We have been in this for too long.
Osfriend Kamara say, hello, sir, from EDSA. Is there any update on the CLSG interconnectivity distribution line issue? During one of your TV appearances a few months ago, you mentioned about the distribution line of the CLSG line. The CLSG line is faulty and needs to be synchronized with the mixed grid generation and distribution network. You did note that you have brought in technicians to resolve the issues. Thanks.
And this now, Saudi Jalo again, he said, Mr. Salamin, you are inciting people to break the law. If EDSA do any increment, is that a responsible role as a civil society member?
Joe Boka, you say, Mr. Nepo, you're absolutely correct that it is the middle class that steals the electricity. We need a nationwide registration of all electricians and digitalization of their activities.
Abraham say, EDSA and a fraudulent institution. Citizens, they pay for lights, we do not even benefit from.
Okay, we'll take a few more.
Yeah.
Then we go to the guest. Ronald Beresford saying, Leone, those who try to fight against corruption and malpractices are seen as the enemy because corruption is the way and life for most. If you try to do the right thing, you're ridiculed and seen and seen as a time waster. That is the Leone we have, where bad is good and good is bad. How can things change with this type of culture?
This Sise Ibrahim say, why EDSA increased price? People of the Freetown paid, they're not receiving what they paid for.
This other person, they ask Abdul Kamar, they say, is this increase or adjustments going to be affected across the country, even us in the provinces?
And then Mustafa Ibrahim Kamara said, Mr. Lamin made a valid point. Putting a better system in place will help EDSA increase revenue generation rather than just increase tariff.
Musa, I want to echo my say, sir, may God continue to bless you for your good talk. That's true, Mr. Lamin. We are really suffering for this from blackouts. As for us in Grafton, EDSA is only giving us electricity 1 in, 1 out.
Then it's possible to say, what is EDSA doing to addressing the constant blackout in Bo and Kenema?
More say again an interesting one. Is some people now we they get blackouts past all areas, but now we they dance past the one the way they get the lights and water. Ustem we go get sense.
Hold on.
I'll read this one. Okay, go ahead.
No, I mean I try for see.
This one from Ronald. He say if what Mr. Lamin is saying is right, then there lies part of a bigger problem. There are those in EDSA who are responsible for malpractices, and they are above the law doing deals for the selfish needs. Yet members of the public who pay their bills are not getting electricity. EDSA takes 2 steps forward and 5 steps backward. Where are the ACC and other authorities?
And then Mustafa Ibrahim Kamara said, Mr. Nepo, no transformer or cable has been stolen in my community in Grafton, but we have suffered blackout almost a week now. It was 1 day blackout and 1 day light, but now there is no light for 1 week.
Mr. Lamin might be harsh, but he is right that EDSA is negligent about tackling electricity theft, which is rife everywhere. That is from Ato Talilu. Okay. I'll take one more, then we try for go to the guests. And Francis Bendu said the only solution to power supply in Leone is 2 renewable energy power supply, such as solar, wind, and hydro power.
Okay, make I ask this one. So this is Amadou Ijalo. He said, is the solar mini grid for Makini connected to Freetown?
Yeah, look, we'll take down and there were plenty of cities, so no we will read all of them. So, Levi, we will start with you, Nepo, then we'll back to Saul,
Yeah, another problem. Yes, another problem. I don't like this. In fact, the next one, they invite Nepo in one. Okay. They're going to make the people they respond.
Yeah.
Because somebody, one of the staff that they say at the site.
Yeah.
So, they know I saw somebody from EDSA.
Yeah. So these are the things you don't.
No, somebody will respond.
No, so let go ahead.
You don't have responsibly, Mr. Saul.
Go ahead.
I don't really use that word continuously. You are not responsible in this area because you are telling lies to the people.
Thank you very much.
Gentlemen, please.
You don't be responsible. You tell lies to the general public.
Okay, let me allow Ali make it.
So
go ahead.
I believe we're here to communicate to the
Yes, so go ahead and respond to
communicate. I will communicate accordingly.
Yes, please.
So fine. So somebody asked about say if you report what faults now on the CLH line with this Bo Kenema and Kono. So I want for commend that person because if it's good to himself, he talks, yes, we make the report, we'll be attend to the faults. I want to assure that person for say yes, we work in close collaboration with CLSG experts, and of course, even in Ivory Coast, they can get outage because as we don't talk, this is not transmission line. It is spanned from a long distance from one point to another. So there are times we can experience falling teeth on the wires, which will bring distortion in the flow of electricity. So, but I want to assure the person say yes. Of course, we always get a standby team. When anything can happen, we get team from Kenema, we get team from Ivory Coast, so they check the bushes for see which are the faults, we call and they can respond accordingly. And one for assure the person will continue in that same light. He also asked about what will they put in place for ensure say Bo and Kenema get a sustainable electricity supply apart from the CLSG. Yes, of course, we get a CLSG who now bilateral relationship with them, where they also complement the efforts of the government of Sierra Leone. But what thing government do as well is, as at the top, government we don't buy thermal plants. We currently, as you see, that installation of the thermal plants and the ongoing at the Bo powerhouse. So then thermal plant probably in a month or two, they will complete them installation, then they do testing, they do commissioning.
But when I get contract, when I get private plants, the machines, and for
yeah, that's did it. Then did it. But then that a private person get that. But this one I talk about now, this is now government owned. Government don't buy thermal plants for the powerhouse. So now they don't clear the powerhouse with all the old things over there. Now the contractor they can do installation of the thermal plants in collaboration with the electricity generation and transmission company. So probably in a month or two they will complete that installation and then we do energization of the line and test the thermal plants we could find. Also, of course, we all be know so during the rains, now the Kenema Dam, now in the supply lights for both Boy and Kenema. Also, we at an advanced stage of ensure say not only for maintenance that particular dam, but for also add on in capacity, so that because now what that happen at Boy and Kenema, we don't experience expansion on a daily basis. We don't get more people don't get access to electricity because power is now. More businesses don't establish in Boy and Kenema. So the more the businesses and also the more the supply, the more the demand. So we don't also they at an advanced stage for ensure say they do maintenance at the go and at the dodo and also add on in output. So they go for supply both Boy and Kenema and get a reserve. So that if expansion happen within the years, we go for complementary one day. Yes, somebody talk about full voltage. If they get half voltage, they get the full voltage. Yes, there are times this we consider we categorize any kind of complaint there as a fault. Because it can happen even in mid-season experience and in normal, during that time, especially during mini season, you go to call corrosion. It happen at the line, it is on the cable. When once you experience corrosion at the cable, the outflow of electricity they become distorted. So sometimes they get half, you get the full complement of waiting for Canada use for power your entire house. So because of that corrosion what they happen, what is not on the line, you get challenges in probably even putting your appliances on. So the best way to do that is now simple fault. If you put to EDSA, they're gonna clean it, they will clean the line, not to even change the changer. They just clean it like because something you don't know about cable, they go and clean that line there, and when once they clean them, they let it flow according to the kind of use. So somebody also talk about grafting. It's a grafting if they get 1 day in, 1 day out. But now 1 week now they get they don't experience power outage. What will happen now? We will get problem with the LV panel. The LV panel now they regulate the power of the communities. We get problem with the LV panel. But yesterday they don't commence installation of a new LV panel. And the assurance is by today that should be completed.
But can they communicate whenever frequently something has an outbreak?
Exactly, with the community time. So that going to be completed today. That is expected for them to complete them and they will restore the normal power way the people are grafting we don't get. So of course, if you look, I think I don't answer most of the question, but what I want to also make clear is that yes, we as an authority, with responsibility now for ensure we supply power to Sierra Leoneans, and I believe plenty of people they watch we will attest to the fact for over the years we don't increase accessibility, but attest to the fact over the years we don't increase even in the consumption way the customer they consume power. Over the years we don't do more expansion. Over the years we don't do more rehabilitation. You go the past you see work way we get this work we call ESOP. ESOP now the energy utility reform project. Now before change. I mean, before now, Freetown, we get the network is too old. Plenty problem. For you even get lights for 30 minutes, now a problem because we get ports, cable, we get age, distribution network facilities, infrastructures. So we don't change over 80% of land. The project they done this year, it's still ongoing. So gradually, the project is for the entire Freetown. Gradually, we will care for close all of land. We get to that project, then we get the ESOP project, we get for come with more renewable, as somebody talks, the way to go, Marcelo, na renewable. Yes, of course, I do agree with that person. Also, we note that one the end is very important, and we are working on that. Now, even as at the top, we get a project of 45 megawatts with the World Bank, where they for supply 30 megawatts now and 15 megawatts for go na Lungi. So, and we also get other projects, other ongoing projects, we get for bring much more accessibility in the country. So one for the people that know we are not just seated, but the ministry in collaboration with the agencies and like EDSA, EGTC, they work very hard together with partners to ensure we reach one for which we are not yet there as a country. Yes, of course, that is clear. We are not yet there, but we are making progress. we are making progress. Every year with the increase of accessibility. And I believe gradually, even now, you're going to the rural communities. My Shaka don't for ages, they never get electricity. Now they have, go to areas, plenty areas of get electricity. You can get the same light, so they get a fit out. You go Boy, you get you go Kenema, you get out. You go Moyambai, you get out. You go My Shaka, you get out.
And I need more money for expand.
So, yeah, so what you want people to know is that we are still working, in our work in progress. Electricity, as I say, the more the supply, the more the demand.
Okay.
So, and the more people that know say the power available, and the more they buy more gadgets, because they get assurance for say power they and I want for make myself convenient. So we want for continue for assure them for say yes, we'll continue, we'll build on what we don't, the infrastructure we already have. We'll continue for ensure say as the demand increase, we also get the capacity to ensure say we set up the infrastructures, we set up the facilities so that customers them out there and the general public will be satisfied with the services we will provide for them.
Okay, William Shaolamin.
Yeah, it's just simple. Black na black, white na white. Nobody know when I saw you no like salon. Though few body we hate salon, but most of all like salon. Let us sit in here and you say me na one person will always they compliment the effort of the energy sector. The EGTC they will confirm down there. Sometimes when they go on the outreach, and they join them. Once you don't know how high table explain success stories about the energy sector. The minister, most times, if you go do commissioning, now we go there, Thailand areas, we go commission. Why go they make sure I make a statement that we are making. We are taking steps. We are moving. Not to government to carry the issue. I mean, one person to carry the issue, right? And they compliment the effort of so many ministries. But I don't mean say why they support you today. If today there is a breakdown or there is problem, I'm not going to talk about that problem. That is not Saulami. You know they get me for that forever. The Minister of Energy is my friend. A big man, a level, with somebody. But somebody very nice, okay, you know, we talk, we keep coming, we make fun. But I don't mean say there is problem, we're not for talk about. If there is light, sustainable light, quality light, nobody they grumble. We need for kind of television. Because when people they grumble out there, now they call me for all can discuss. If one is not there, problem not there in the sector, we they can swear. The minister and the first gentleman himself, most times they make statement on energy. And they tell you say we are not there, there are challenges, there are this, there are problems with finance. Whenever Okaya, Lord make the people they know say, if you stop them, then they connive with people. Now we talk one or two things about we self-say, there are things that happen, we think we self are not correct, where they cause some of them problems there. But if you put all the blame to the public, and say that the public that are responsible, then the public says go bound say no, not we. So somebody saying they talk and they incite people. Let me just make reference. I'm sorry if somebody feel offended, but if somebody talk about incitement, straight away somebody go feel say this is one of the people who are the hit. Now I make you use that word. All later the incitement is EDSA for step up the game. I'm not gonna pay 100,000 for light. I did 2 days another light.
And you think say the increase or adjustments not timely?
No, they let it do themselves. They let it do one.
But they already
No, they first EDTC. They let it do one now. They got to wait first. We are not saying. Remember me and Economy talk on television 2-3 times. We don't do energy business. They don't increase tariff 2-3 times, right? But in no time, it everything time for come. Let them wait for small. The current status holding for the past 2-3 weeks or a month after the elections. Some increment that don't take place in some areas. Some other things and political tensions and still they. Let them wait for small. We go join them. When the time rep, we got to join them. And we for explain better to people.
If they mention, say, by they use areas like pushing them.
Yes,
so
by
you need
now,
for, lead them and all.
Pushing.
Yeah, like
by now, the EGTC, not for just sit down, na the office, na the conference hall, they discuss this thing.
You mean EWRC?
The commission. By now, not for just sit down, I don't say I don't know it's at the door, I know it's at the talk. Right? We are paid. What I'm doing, complimenting your effort, you should even say congratulations, thank you. Right? So, this commission, no need for sit-down in my office. Most times you ask so many people whether they are aware about the discussion, say tariff for increase. People tell you say no. Yeah. So a lot of communication for take place for let people know. Some people will prepare themselves. Say a month or 2 from now, there's going to be increase. But that much sensitization already. And now they're very key in order to the try for this council. It's very, very important.
Okay.
When they talk about that, now we want the filler. You know what I mean? Some of the freezer don't well. Some of them find in the pool, we see them with the kind of power they can boom, they blow off. In some other places, when they take it to court. But here, we don't get right. We don't suppress them and just sit down lie low. And I make sometimes things they can just blow up from we. Finally, sir, then one day we want to demonstrate. Would they beg them? Whether they riot to Now demonstration, there is a law. We want to demonstrate, go to the Inspector General of Police. There is a process. Write letter. The committee or the executive will sit down before the IG. Then discuss with the IG saying that this route one for use for go demonstrate with placards, with this, with that. So that police is supposed to provide security for the one who want to demonstrate. For every right, it go with responsibility. You know, we begin threatening Kumbani and say, when I don't say when I pick and go school, let us go go attack, they come. You don't tell the about this come. And people they see they reflect on what happened August 10. You don't tell it now just 1 year. It's still fresh at the people in mind. Even 11-year rebel war don't past 20 years. It's still fresh at people in mind. With the big Sierra Leoneans, do you? We get a court, we get a system in the country. If you have a problem, you grieve or whatever, go to the court, go to the police, or take the necessary processes. But going to the street, for go demonstrate, wait till we with the call and saying a riot. Other people who go ride a bike, who for go open a shop, for go sell a cassava leaf, you stop there 2-3 days, and for go sell. They bring more hardship to them. So the Deguna law puts alone first. And law make sure say this issue about demonstration or riot, law put them there back. And law all go down small backyard them now. President don't talk about agriculture. I'm now working on 20 acres of cassava and potato farm. Sometimes I brush, I get the pictures in the park on the phone. So now we go out there, now we win our government, now play our own part so that the government going for succeed at the end of the day.
Okay, thank you very much, William Saul-Amin and Sanepo. This is a conversation we definitely get for continue as the EWIC been pull out a statement announcing that EDSA don't make requests to them for adjust or increase tariff, and then get for all, I understand, so then get for all public hearings and engagement for let the public understand. So we get for the covered one and continue the conversation. But like Saul-Amin say, very important as well, because it's only published in a newspaper and they may read and they most people share more than share on social media. But good as well, let them go at least.
Some of us civil society with the help of energy. One day they're not invited to them public hearing in terms of increase.
Something very clear.
Yes.
So if you can recall, it was even the Ministry of Information during the press briefing.
Yeah, the minister.
The minister make a very neither spill the beans.
Yes.
Yeah,
but it was already in the paper. No, Mr. I want to clarify. It was already published in the newspaper. And I think the minister perhaps share on social media and make
at that time, we'll just begin the process. We'll just make the application. Okay. I mean, there are procedures as per law.
It's over. It's 2 weeks now from when the minister make that announcement.
You know, say we'll never make any adjustment without some public disclosure, without engaging CSOs, without engaging the media and all that.
Ask thousands of Sierra Leoneans. So electricity
nobody call on people for also change their attitudes and behavior in terms of the way how they manage the electricity.
Sure.
And sure say if you see somebody who vandalize EDSA property, you report to EDSA. That is a patriotic act. Sure. If you see somebody they thief electricity, you report to EDSA, not to Kongosa. You say they protect yourself because you go help for maintain the facility and ensure so you get the assurance for continue for get access to electricity.
Okay, thank you very much, Sanepo and William Saul-Amin. Like I said, this is a conversation we'll definitely continue. For getting this program and with different programs.